Hi, I'm Monica Cesarato, a food and travel blogger in Venice. Welcome to Venice Meets, a series of live chats from Instagram every day at 6 p.m. CET. Today, I will be talking to Vicky Bennison, cookbook author and creator of a wildly successful YouTube channel, Pasta Grannies.
Ciao Vicky!
Ciao, come stai?
Ciao. You changed location, you went to the kitchen, appropriate location.
You don't know what happened in between. I've now got the camera set up on a stand so I don't wobble about too much.
Yes, I know the feeling. I was so happy because I actually bought my little stand about 7-8 months ago. I actually never used it and it's coming so handy now for a kind of new. How are you?
Very well indeed, thank you, yes.
You know, I was thinking that wasn't around this period 4 years ago you were filming here in Venice with us?
I know. 4 years, where does it go? It was a wonderful time, wasn't it?
I know, I still remember the little journey in Sant'Erasmo with a little apple cart.
Yes, I remember all the aperitivos.
Oh yes, oh yeah. And I remember the trip up in the hills of Prosecco land and over Prosecco. I like that.
Very good.
So, who is Vicky Bennison and who is Pasta Grannies? Even though everybody knows, but let's explain it anyway.
So Pasta Grannies is a YouTube channel and it's also an Instagram account. The YouTube channel, well, it's all been going for about 6 years now. Really quite a while, and I now have nearly 500,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Wow.
And it's extraordinary. On Instagram I'm now up to about 256,000 followers on Instagram, so I'm always this like, wow, you know, every morning.
And I was looking at the numbers on YouTube. Are we talking about over 60,000? Am I wrong? On YouTube?
No. Well, I have nearly 500,000. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Million,
oh,
yeah.
right. So I must have. Oh, maybe it was the zero that I missed it wrong. Okay, yeah. I thought.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
So, and it went viral, I guess, about at the end of 2018 or midway through 2018. So, and then off the back of that, I was asked to write a book.
Yes.
That came out in October. And of course, the most important thing about this is the wonderful, beautiful Signora Anziane who make it all possible.
I know.
So, and so at the moment we're not filming because these lovely women have to be taken great care of. And so we hope that we'll start again in, hopefully June. Fortunately, we have enough footage to keep us going until then.
Also, I was just thinking, Vicky, of all the amount of old ladies that you actually, of nonnas that you have interviewed, it must taken you like a whole day just to contact all of them to check how they're doing.
No, well, see, I have a secret weapon, and she's called Livia de Giovanni. She's from Faenza, and she's my granny finder.
Okay.
And so she's been with me about 4 years now, I think.
Okay.
And so she helps me. I mean, I decide where we're going. It's like I'm, on a mission to get to Calabria. And Calabria is actually being a little bit difficult to crack. So if anybody has any nonne down in Calabria, please get in touch.
Guys, okay, I'll ask. Okay, no problem. I think it's hard to find the ladies because you see, it's not when we tried as well, there wasn't a problem finding the ladies. The problem was finding a lady that wanted to be in front of a camera. That is the main problem. I remember the same when you came to Venice. That was a major problem.
So the way it works is usually persuading their family. I mean, there are always gatekeepers that have to be reassured rightly that we're not going to make fun of them or anything like that.
Oh my God, absolutely not.
So we work through the mayor, we work through the local syndico, the people who organize Sagra, that kind of thing, and so usually they can make introductions, and that helps. And of course, we grandmothers, say no, they say yes, and then they say no. I mean, we've even had grandmothers say no as we've opened the front door, you know. So,
wow. Okay.
so that's like, oh.
Okay.
But fortunately, that doesn't happen too often. Yeah. So it's just the most fabulous job in the world. It's like yours, really. I mean, you're dealing with wonderful subject matter. It's always a joy to meet people.
Yes, I think you learn so much from these ladies.
Exactly. Yeah.
You do.
And I love
it. No, sorry, go on. I don't want to interrupt you. Sorry, you were saying.
No, go on.
I just wanted to ask you, how did it all start?
Well, I'm lucky enough to, my husband and I have a home in Le Marche, which is on the eastern side of Italy, facing Croatia. It's that end. And I was faffing around trying to find inspiration for a book, you know, generally on Italian food. And then I noticed that, in fact, it was only the older women who were making pasta by hand on a regular basis. That, you know, younger women are way too busy working outside the home, you know, and with kids and stuff. And so, you know, they choose not to. They just don't have their time poor. They no longer do it. And of course, they have a choice. You know, you can. I mean, why would you spend an hour making pasta when you can go and buy it from a pasta shop? So I thought, oh, someone needs to make a record of that, and that's how it got started. Slowly, I realized that, in fact, pasta making is such a physical process that even photography doesn't kind of get there. You have to make a video. And so I didn't, you can tell from the early episodes that I'd never been near a video camera before. You know, it was very stationary and I was a bit nervous. But now much more confident about filming and things. And YouTube was the obvious place to put that record. And then eventually you kind of get sucked into the algorithm of YouTube, and you know, you've got to have an audience, so therefore you have to keep going. And I think anyone thinking of, you know, doing their own project, it's persistence that matters. You just have to keep on going because you love it. Yes. Eventually it'll take off.
And I mean, I put off YouTube for ever for the last 10 years. It was just like, okay, one video a year if I was, you know, I did short videos, but never on YouTube. I just didn't like it. It wasn't the filming my problem. It was the editing. I hate doing the editing. Yeah. And, but obviously once I started doing this live chats, I realized that the chats start becoming so interesting with a lot of different interesting people from all backgrounds. And I thought it was really a pity to lose out on them. So I had to thank to Letizia Mattiacci. She convinced me to get a decent film editor. So I did it. And it takes time. It takes time, but then once you get into it, and it's true, you look back at the first one, you go, oh my God, what did I do? But as you go along, you learn.
Yeah, I think your fans are very forgiving. You know, they're sort of, they know that you're not, you're the expert in something else, not filmmaking.
What's very interesting about Pasta Grannies, I think you are actually putting into history these women. You're making a record in history for them, because a lot of this will go lost, because I know there's a lot of books out on how you know, we do pasta in Italy and so on, but the way you done it and so spread is because you don't go like to 10 women. How many old ladies have you actually interviewed so far? Do you know?
300.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And more to come.
And more to come, yes. We were about to go to Sicily when lockdown happened. And it's so frustrating because we've got a kind of list of women. It's like, I've got to get there.
So how many regions have you covered so far?
Not everywhere. We haven't done Molise, we haven't done Friuli, and you know, up in Aosta, but even when you say, oh, I've done Tuscany, you know, I still haven't done all the different bits of it. You know, how pasta varies across all these regions, and I think you know, I could easily go back to Abruzzo and stuff. I know that there are pastas that I haven't done there and things. So it's you know, keeping us, it's keeping me busy. Well, it would be if we weren't stuck in our homes.
One question that came through today when I was asking you questions to pose to you. Somebody was asking me if you got a suggestion for an easy pasta that can be done at home without using the machine.
Yeah, there are several. And actually, I'm doing a thing on Airbnb while I'm in, and sort of actually I'm doing peachy with that one, because that's just like making plasticine snakes. You know, you just roll them out. But I think the other one is also, I think the pastas from southern Italy, the cavatelli, are really easy. The only thing about cavatelli is, of course, you've got to get a hold of the semolina flour, which is why I think peachy is slightly easier, because you can use any flour. On that one, yeah. But yeah, there is a pasta for everyone, I think. I mean, the main thing is not to be frightened by it. You remember that, you know, all housewives had to do it. You know, they grew up being told that that's what they had to do. So it's not like it's a a calling or a vocation. It's just a task.
Exactly. Well, you know, when you came over, I never took you to my mother. My mother doesn't make pasta. I make the pasta. So I could even say, well, we'll take you to my mom. No.
Okay.
Not anything else, but definitely not pasta. What would you say is one, because I'm pretty sure you had many, but one of the most hilarious moments you had while you were filming with this array of beautiful women?
I think a lot of the hilarious moments are getting lost. It's like finding these women, and you know, you end up on mountainsides where it's, you know, treacherous, and you think, oh my goodness, are we going to get out of here alive? I usually send I have a cameraman called Andrea, and I usually send him up the church spire. And actually, you know, we also filmed chestnuts being prepared, chestnut flour. You know, you do this, you have a kind of smoking shed. So I sort of send people, you know, it's like, you could go in and film that one.
You're horrible. Okay.
But, quickly, in terms of women, I think I rather like how they all turn into a party. And so it's like quite often you've got a group of women. It's sort of, I think what was it we're making somewhere near Cesena, I think. Anyway, you know, it's sort of suddenly the bottle of wine comes out, and somehow it sort of goes around 13 people, and everybody has fun.
Yes, definitely a lot. They asking me here which pasta is your favorite.
I don't have a favorite. I enjoy all of them, and it varies. And I think actually that having women make it for me in their homes is the thing that makes it my favorite. It's like it's qualitatively different to eating in a restaurant, no matter how good that restaurant is. But I think I'm quite interested by the pastas in Liguria. I think the nuts and herb sauces, like the panzotti, you know, that's the one with the walnut sauce, and you've got a kind of prevageune, you know, the stewed wild greens that go in the middle. I mean, so I like the stories that go with it, as well as how it tastes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because I think it's the greatest thing about your videos. It's not just about filming somebody making, like, you know, just a video recipe or a cooking recipe. Let's say there is all the story behind, and I know that you're very careful as well on how you select not just the nonna, but even the story behind, because otherwise, you know, tagliatelle. Pretty much everybody knows how to make tagliatelle, but you know, you have to get the right story behind it. So I think that's the secret, I think, behind Pasta Grannies, probably, is it?
Yeah, but everybody has a story. I think you just have to ask them. So, yeah, tagliatelle, you know, we've done it a couple of times now. We'll try and make sure the sauce is different. We'll certainly try and see if the women are different. And you know, there's always slight variations around the regions of, you know, even a ragu is different. So
yeah. So, thank goodness. The most difficult pasta for you to do of all the one that you tried, because I know you probably, obviously, you're not just filming, you're trying.
Yeah, I mean, I do try them. I actually, when I'm at home, I just stick to the ones that I enjoy and are easy and things. I think actually the most difficult one is su filindeo, which is from Sardinia, and that involves beating up your dough. It's a similar dough, but it's about the degree of hydration and creating an elasticity.
Oh yeah, because
in the dough, which kind of, it's a very complicated way of making tagliolini. And then you kind of spread it over a basket, a flat piece of basket, and dry it, and then you dissolve all that in stock, which is a very long way around it, but it's very difficult to do.
Right. Are you actually in quarantine in England or in Marco? Or you're in?
Yeah.
You were in. I bet you wish you were in Italy at the moment.
My lovely husband Billy, who's on the other side of the table, I decided it would be nice to spend quarantine with him, not in Italy. So.
Oh, okay. But is it difficult as it is here now, because we're struggling in certain parts to get flour, plastic gloves, and yeast. I was at the supermarket the other day, and there was half a kilo yeast, and I just went and made it mine. I grabbed it, took it away. I can bake bread for about 2 years now.
Or you can sell it on a huge profit.
Oh, I should on eBay per gram, like gold.
Yeah, so the flour is difficult to get, though I've recently got several more bags. Yeast is very difficult to get here in London. I think the English, when we went into lockdown, and bought large amounts of alcohol. So, I'm told that the Dutch, bought sausages, and the Americans went for tubs of ice cream, and the British, went for huge quantities of beer.
The essentials in life.
I know, it's like, never mind the loo paper.
Yeah. No, yeah, we were worried about at the beginning, but then we thought, all right, don't worry. We got beaten, you see. We are forward.
I live in London, so there's not a problem. It's you can get anything you want. It's just the sadness of all the restaurants being closed and things. Yeah, so we'll have to hope. Yeah.
The book. So when was it launched? Can we see it?
Yes.
Here
is the book.
Oh, by the way, in Italian as well, or just in English at the moment?
No, it's going to be published in Italian. But I don't know when. I'm waiting for the publishers to tell me when it's going to be published. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, also because I think that will open a lot of doors to all the nonnas when you go with an Italian, because they can actually see what it's all about.
Yeah. So that's very exciting.
How many people have you got in the book?
I have 75 recipes.
Oh, wow.
On that. And I try to get a selection. Of course, when you've already got 250, 300 videos, it's difficult to decide who. So it's trying to get sort of a selection from across Italy and a varying levels of difficulty, so that there's something for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And we were lucky enough to have a very fabulous photographer called Emma Lee, and she went with us twice to film women, and I think that she was very good with them, and I think that shows in the photography. So I'm very proud of the book. So yeah.
And when are you going on TV with this? Come on, we want you on TV with this.
Yeah, yes, so that would be nice.
Come on!
Yeah, but I that's not my...
Oh, no, I can't believe it. It's such a great idea, okay?
Yeah. But this is the YouTube channel already. I mean, it would be nice to do longer form storytelling, that's true. And it would be nice to have a bigger production budget. But there is a charm to YouTube. When you've got a bigger production budget, it means you're slower. you're kind of getting you know, your large cameras and your large crew in place, and you're only doing it one granny a day, whereas we can get, you know, 2 or maybe even 3 grannies a day if they're in the same area. So
and don't you also that when it's on a big, you have also more we call it paletti in Italy, I can't get the word, you know, more you have to follow more certain rules. You have got to be less control as a producer of it.
Yeah, probably. That I don't know how. You know, we're talking hypothetically, but I think yes, I would no longer be in control of it, I think, or I'd have to be in conversation with other people. But I guess that happens earlier. But we'll have to see. I mean, you know, watch this space.
Yes. Oh no. I'm definitely. Oh, I'm telling you, you are. I'm saying. Another thing. What are you going to do when you're running out of pasta?
Oh, well, funny enough, the video that's on at the moment on YouTube is actually one on it's an apple strudel, and it's hugely popular. So I think sweets, I might try and incorporate a few more dolce into our feed, because that seems to be popular. I find it hard to believe that we'll run out of pasta.
Well, shape something. Well, yeah, that's true. Also because I think that sometimes you find all of a sudden you hear of something that you never heard of, and yes, I suppose.
Yes, I'm but you know, there are I think we're probably gonna do a little bit more around puddings and breads. Breads are always interesting as well. Oh. And we do that already. It's so we've done a few soups, for example. So you know, before the lockdown and stuff, you know, there's all this kind of plant forward thing, which so we try and sort of cater for all tastes. And we don't talk about that particularly because that's not how the nonnas think. But you know, I try to sort of keep the appeal as broad as possible.
What about the area where you are in Le Marche?
Yeah.
Did you do all your nonnas there? Did they? Or
lots. We got, but and also we've got quite a few unusual pastas. You know, so it's we'll have to do more on that. And perhaps when the Italian book comes out, we'll kind of start standing around on a street corner.
Yeah, well, no, come on, you're gonna have to have a big launch in some important, you know, do a nice tour of Italy. You know, you should, for every region where you've been to, invite all the nonnas. Oh my God, they'll be so happy, you know, to see stuff in the book. Oh gosh,
that'd be good. It'd be good.
And the family as well. No, I'm so happy you're gonna do it in Italian. I really have, because I think you actually done something that Italians should have done, and nobody ever thought about it. Not bad. You've done it now, so that's okay. You'll always be the first one, no matter who copies you. Okay.
But you know, I think sometimes it takes a stranger to sort of have an overview. I think
that's one thing.
Italians are very passionate and knowledgeable about their local sort of food scene and traditions and things. But you know, as you know, those in Liguria aren't necessarily interested in what happens in Basilicata. Whereas, and actually our nonnas don't. They're always interested. If you show them a video of a woman from elsewhere in Italy, they're interested, but they're not. But not enough to actually do it.
Well, you know, it's really interesting you say that. You know, I used to go often to Rimini to Nonna Violante. You know, you got to go to Nonna Violante. Okay, and she has got some of her relatives that lives here in Venice. So every time I used to go down there, she used to say, "Come on, tell me some of the recipe. Come on, let's cook together and teach me some of your recipes." And I'm going, no, I want to learn your recipes. No. Let's do sardine sour. Let's do something like this. So that was actually very interesting. But I think it depends on the person as well. But it's. I think I want to. You know, Italian women are very proud. So yes, they want to learn. But at the end of the day, the way they do it is always the best. The best.
Of course, absolutely, yes.
But I think you've done one of the greatest homages ever to Italian cooking. Because as I say, you know, there's a lot of course of, you know, even videos and stuff online, but so thorough and dedicated to the old ladies, I think is the best one. And as I said, because you've done it with an eye from the outside, so no preferences, just listening to everybody. I really, really love it. You know, even
Thank you very much.
You know, when we went around, they keep every so often they keep calling me, says, "Oh, do you remember?" Yes, I remember. Oh, by the way, if you ever come back to Venice, I got some more places to take you now, because
definitely.
Yes, also because some of the ladies 4 years ago now become grannies. They weren't back then. So when's actually the book? This one that you said it was launched in October, yes?
It was launched, so it is available.
It's available.
Yeah. Through all good bookstores and online, and it's taking slightly longer at the moment to be delivered, but yeah, it's selling well.
Do you think you're gonna do also another one, considering that you got so many nonnas in the videos?
I'm still recovering from writing the first one. Just
how long did it take you?
Actually, it took me 6 months.
That's not long.
No, it's not. But I worked 7 days a week for 6 months.
Oh, wow.
It was quite a hardcore. I mean, you know, I already had the recipes because I'd made the films, but even so, all the thing around recipe testing and all that kind of thing still had to be done. And so I got help with that as well. Yeah. So it's always good to have a stranger's eyes coming in on a recipe, because then they kind of go, "Whoa, what are you talking about?" And you say, "But it's obvious," but it isn't. So
how do you, because, you know, I write recipes and stuff, and how do you, oh, by the way, one thing I want to know about the book, is it geared just for British people or the American market as well? So is it both in...
So these days you have the editors have to go through it and do American measurements, as well as you know, grams, imperial grams, cups,
grams and whatever.
No, I think in grams. So everything else is a mystery to me.
Somebody got me a big, you know, those measuring cups, and I thinking, why do I have to get all of that dirty when I got a scale? Just weigh everything on my scale. Yeah, one thing dirty. But well, then never mind that. What was I saying? Oh yes, what about sourcing the ingredient? Because of course in Italy, you know, a certain type of flour, a certain type of eggs, a certain type of everything is easy. How does it work for people that obviously are buying the book from England, America, Australia, whatever?
So we suggest alternatives. I mean, I think, you know, what is authentic is a big topic, because if you're in Faenza, the cheese that you use is not the same as the one you will find in Bologna. And so, you know, already you're having to make substitutions and swaps and that kind of thing. And so in the most things you can buy, I say with, like, for example, flour, if you can get a hold of 00, that's great, but if not, use all purpose. The most important thing you can do is actually get used to the flour, the brand that you have available, and it's important that it's fresh, and it's important, I think, to find your local miller, and you know, so if you're in America or India or wherever, then find your flour manufacturer and stick with them and get to know how your flour behaves, rather than worrying about 00, you know, from particular manufacturers in Italy. So that's the first thing. Eggs, always use you know, free range if you can, because with so few ingredients, everyone, I mean, both of them matter.
Of course.
And so with sauces, you know, I had a lady recently said, oh, you know, I was making a tomato sauce. She said, oh, can I add ground chicken to this? And I went, of course you can.
You're doing it all. Nobody's going to see it.
You're at home, you know, do what you feel like. I mean, it's no longer an ordinary, you know, pomodoro, sugo pomodoro. It's something else. You've made it, but that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's my approach.
Yes, and I think something also that maybe we were talking about with Judy with Francini the other day about this is that in America, I'm not so sure in England, but in America they need to learn not to be so hung up about measurements, but sometimes they have to go with the flow of things. Not so much for pasta. No, I'm not talking about pasta. Obviously, pasta is strictly 100 grams, 100 grams, 100 grams. Mm-hmm. I'm talking more about maybe when we, you know, when we cook. I mean, I never measured anything. My mom never measured anything. And you know, that's the problem when I have to write the recipes that I gather, that we never measured anything.
I think when if you grow up with in a culture and a gastronomy, then you're familiar with it and you know how it tastes. So I always describe recipes as the sort of the extra set of wheels on a bicycle. They help stabilize you. They help you kind of go away, and then obviously you have your own oven and your own tastes and stuff like that. So it's inevitably going to change a bit. But recipes are there to sort of help you. I mean, and not be too prescriptive, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the recipe is there, but don't worry too much if you're like 10 gram or 20 gram shorter of something. Try anything, or maybe, as you were saying, if you want to add something or substitute it. Yeah, I always say if it can be cooked, generally.
If it doesn't work, try again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as long as you don't do like, I can't remember who I was talking to the other day. She was saying to me that by mistake, instead of putting sugar, she used instead of using a bag of sugar, it was a bag of salt. And when obviously they went to my friend, she was making jams, and and what's happening? The mother. The lady that looked after her mother had put the what she thought was the sugar in this bag, but it didn't have any label or anything, so she thought it was the sugar. So when she went to do the jam, when she went to taste the jam, it just disgusting. So maybe that's one thing you should check. Not as much.
Yeah. Taste as you go. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That is one thing. Definitely taste as you go. That is rule number one for an Italian. Definitely. Okay. I don't know what. I think I covered everything. I don't know what else got to ask you apart from I want the next book.
Oh no. Yeah. I mean, I also, you asked me if I had anything that had been made especially.
Oh yes. Go on. Yes. Oh yeah. They were just asking about the boards, but.
This is a Mattarello, so this is my rolling pin. It's the
you got the long one like that.
So it's the long rolling
one, yes.
And that's the story behind my rolling pin is that my dad, he had a kind of phase on woodworking, and he brought a piece of wood back from Africa where he'd been working. And after he died, the wood was still there, and I had it made into this pin. So it reminds me of my dad every time I make pasta.
Oh my God, that's beautiful! Wow,
African wood. We hope, and it was made by a friend called John Kirby, who has a kitchen cabinet making business. That's my special bit of kit.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's the size that we all have in Italy, and it's like that.
Yes,
I remember.
I can do a 3-egg pasta if I want to with this.
You can do a what?
A 3-egg. This is big enough to do a roll of 3-egg dough.
Woman, Arianna does a 10-egg.
Oh, really? We have to divide the dough up there then.
Yeah, but lately she got herself a machine. No, she can, but she said it took so long. No, because with this quarantine, I'm lucky. I'm only home with the kids, and that's fine. And we already agreed we only have a proper dinner in the evening because otherwise we'll end up being like, but she's got a big family. So I met her, I bumped into her by mistake. I was shopping the other day and we had mask on. I didn't even recognize her. She's my best friend. And she was drawn. I said, what's the matter with you? I've not been stopped cooking for 40 days. She's like, I can't take anymore.
Yeah, it is hard.
That's the problem. They make her do practically pasta every day. But they're like in 6, 7. And, you know, that's a lot of pasta every day by hand. Yes, so, you know, yes, I'm so glad I don't have to do that. Well, okay. Have you got your sign? Well, everybody knows Pasta Granny, but just in case, where do we find you? I mean, just in case.
At Pasta Grannies.
.com, of course.
Oh yes, and .com, but the handle is at Pasta Grannies, and there's a website.
And you're everywhere. And you're everywhere.
That's the same every.
Oh, by the way, how did the name come out? How did you think of something? You know, Pasta Grannies. I mean, yeah, it's catchy, but when did it come out to you?
It just came to me. I mean, it was like, it does what it says on the tin. Okay, it's not grammatically what the Italians would say, but it's what everybody understands.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, you didn't translate the title in Italian, did you? You left it like that?
No, they can't. No, the title in Italian is just pasta.
No way! They could have studied Le nonne della pasta or something like that.
No, they've got a nonna on the back and stuff, and they sort of talk about that on the back cover, but it's just called pasta.
Oh, okay, vabbè, all right, okay.
Not my decision. No, but
yeah. Oh, that's a pity. Okay. Well, listen, Vicky, I can't wait to see you back in Italy soon. What can I say? And then you need to go into Greece.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. You should definitely do the grannies of Greece. Definitely, I can see that.
Oh, the yayas of Greece. Yes, I do actually have an episode coming up of Spanakopita. I love Spanakopita. But that's a long story, and we'll have to talk about it another time. But yes, grannies of Greece.
Oh my God. Oh, and by the way, thank you for the recommendations. Oh my God, I eat so well. Oh, coffee. Oh, I'm in love with coffee. I could move tomorrow. Definitely can move tomorrow. I love it.
Anyway, talk to you soon.
It was so nice talking to you, and I hope to see you back in Italy soon. And
definitely.
And let me know as soon as the book is launched, where we spread the word around to Italians.
Okay, fantastic.
Thank you so much. Ciao, Bella.
Okay.
Ciao, ciao. Ciao.